Next we'll take a look at the music player, which is actually total Zune experience. If you've ever used a Zune, this will look familiar to you, this menu over here. In fact, Windows Mobile 6.5 started to adopt some of this look here. So you've got your music, your videos, your FM radio. You've got to plug in the headset to use that. Zune Pass, if you are a Zune customer and you do have a Zune Pass, and very rudimentary settings. So we'll take a look at music first. And it's a really nice UI. I mean, I love the Zune HD. So here you see songs listed alphabetically. So these are things that I have side-loaded. This works just like the iPhone. You're going to have to side-load stuff over USB with the Zune desktop software to get it on here. And you can side-load your videos and your music, no problem, and playlists. Behaves just like a Zune player. There's nothing going on over the air here with syncing, except for the Zune Pass content, which I'll show you in a minute. So if you select an album, it starts playing the first song. And if you tap the screen, just like with the Zune, you get these on-screen controls. So you can fast forward, rewind, change the volume, and pause. And you can do by artist, again by playlist and by song. Take a look at videos. I've sideloaded a couple of videos here. One is lower resolution. It's a bit dark, but we're going to give it a go. This is Michael Jackson's Thriller. So there's Michael Jackson's Thriller. It's a QVGA video in the Zune Marketplace. So it does a good job with that. Now we're going to give it something a little bit more taxing. I've got a movie that I burned at higher resolution. That plays fine on my Zune HD. We'll see how it does on this. Given that they have the same CPU, I'd expect similar performance. That looks pretty good. The lip sync is slightly off though, but other than that, it's looking pretty sharp. That's the video player, and we'll take a look at the Zune Pass. If you notice, when I was saying not all applications work in both portrait and landscape mode, this is an example. No matter what you do, this is not going to be running in anything but portrait mode. So we've got Zune Pass, which is subscription music service. And you can type in a search for whatever you want. It's going to start playing, or we can just pick an album that's being featured. And we will play streaming over Verizon's 3G network. Takes a little while for it to buffer up. This is the screen lock that you see. It's actually pretty sweet, so I'm going to show it to you right now. It automatically screen locks. You can set the period before it does that, or you can hit the power button, and you see this handwritten, "Nice to meet you," the time. If there's any text messages or any other kind of message, it's going to appear superimposed, and you swipe to unlock the screen. It's very easy to do. We're going to take a look at the physical design next, and we're going to also take another look at the Kin 1. Interestingly, Verizon says this is the Kin for boys, and the Kin 1 is the Kin for girls. Now, that's not just some arbitrary sexist thing they came up with. They said that they've been testing this with teenagers for quite some time, and they found that guys preferred this and gals preferred this phone. It's got a very stiff slider. This is not a phone that you can use one-handed, that's for sure. I was trying to walk and use this and slide it open, and it's very hard to slide because it's stiff and because the back is very curvy. It's hard to get a grip on it. And also, it's quite wide, so you really need to use this with two hands. See the keyboard here, it's backlit. It works with the light sensor, so the backlighting won't turn on unless it's sufficiently dark for it to turn on. And it's pretty easy to use. These are funky, trendy sans serif letters here on the keyboard, but they're very bold and easy to see. The secondary keys that you operate with the FN key are suitably dimmer where you can still see them. If you want to turn on FN lock, you double press, likewise for shift lock. You've got a call key here if you want to bring up the dialer. And got a search key as well. Brings up the search that we've seen before. Smiley face button brings up a whole bunch of emoticons. Next we're going to take a look at the Kin 1. Kin 1 has an interesting design. You've got the white showing on both the top and the bottom here. Functionality is identical, but this guy is only QVGA resolution, and that means that you're going to do a lot more swiping around to read stuff, especially if you've got a lot of social networking content loaded. But it is much more pocketable. If you have large hands and you're trying to use it closed, it's actually a little uncomfortably small, I found, to hold on to. So it depends probably on the size of your hands. Keyboard is very good. Again, this really reminds me of the Pre. You see the arcing design right here? Shockingly similar. The hardware is made by Sharp. Microsoft and Sharp together worked on designing the product. So this has got a mild smile configuration here, the same thing with the call key, the search key, the emoticon key. And it too has backlighting. Now both of these phones require Verizon's smartphone data plan, and there's the big hurt. This is a phone that's trying to bridge the gap between a high-end feature phone and a smartphone, but it doesn't have, obviously, a full set of smartphone features. You can't add apps to it like you can with the iPhone or Android. Cloud syncing is relatively limited. If you want to sync this to Microsoft services, that's great. Anything live you've got, but you don't really have any access to Gmail services, for example, or any other IM platform at all, which is not so great. So I'm not really sure how well this is going to do with customers, especially if you're targeting youth where, hopefully you're not paying more for your kid's cell phone plan than for your own. This is going to cost you at least $70 for the lowest voice and data plan. And if you add on something like the Zune Pass Zune service, that's another $15 a month right there. And then there are other features that this is lacking. This does have a GPS, both models have a GPS built in, but the only way that it's used is for geotagging on photos and for doing Bing local area searches. There is no maps per se, no navigation, nothing like that. Now, just because you're young, it doesn't mean you don't want to get places. I'm a little surprised that they've left that feature out. There is no VCast here either. So no VCast, no YouTube. Ouch. For the price of the plan, what you can get on an Android phone versus this right now is kind of not good. Things we do like about it, they're quite good cameras, and they've got the flash here. And this does have cloud syncing to Microsoft's Kin website. It's your own personal web portal, basically, for all content on the phone. The content is always being backed up to the cloud, which is Microsoft servers. It's yours, nobody else has access to that. And all of your contacts, your messages, your photos, everything are backed up there. And it's a very, very neat interface. It does a timeline view, and then you can go to separate groups for photos, for messages, for things like that, too. So it's a lot of fun to work with on the web. But that's it for cloud syncing. Kind of locked in, which again, you are with Apple services, so you're locked in, but the iPhone has been such a compelling platform that people are willing to live with that being locked in. So that's the Microsoft Kin 1 and Kin 2, available on Verizon. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Visit our website to read the full review.